Once a year on a full moon at 2 in the morning, hundreds of goats are slaughtered. So far, more than 200 goats have been brutally murdered in mysterious circumstances, and the killer is still unknown. Welcome to the Paranormal Post. I'm Clayton Morris. If you love true stories of the unexplained, then go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps. And there's one more thing that you can do, which is turn on that bell notification so you'll receive one as soon as we publish a brand new video. Now, we all love to share stories of mythical creatures, from Mothman to Loch Ness Monster. In fact, did you see my Loch Ness Monster video? And I tell you that I did see this monster when we were at Loch Ness. And some stories are more fantastical than others, and some are downright horrifying, like today's story. Let's go to the island of Concepcion, located on Maestro de Campo Island, but it's known as Sibale to the locals in the Philippines. Locals there call it Werewolf Island, where the people live in horror to this day. Today we're going to talk about the horrific event that happened or started in Sibale Island in 2012. Now, farmers in the isolated island of Sibale in the central Philippines have reported that mysterious killers attacked farm animals during nights before the full moon, sucking blood and tearing away vital organs such as the liver and the heart, and leaving these goats to lay dead in the field. Locals believe werewolves are to blame. Sibale's mayor, Lemuel Cipriano, said that more than 200 goats have been killed in the years between 2012 and 2014. Their carcasses scattered in the open fields, and showing the same telltale marks: strangulated necks, gaping wounds in the stomach. The mayor said, quote, "It's a continuing goat massacre, happening at the onset of the full moon almost every year since 2012. So far, more than 200 goats have been massacred by this unknown killer." The suspected werewolves attacked between midnight and 2 a.m., and several nights before the onset of the full moon. The most recent attack had 9 goats gutted and left in a field. Now, the goat population on the island was estimated at about 1,000, but it's been dwindling ever since because of these mysterious attacks. Municipal agriculturist Nila Yap said the residents are baffled why the killers attack only during the night and before the onset of the full moon. Locals there are worried that after the killers wipe out the goat population on the island, they might be the next victims. Mayor Cipriano has ordered officials of the 9 counties and the local police departments to conduct nightly patrols, watching out for the mysterious killers and stopping the slaughter of these animals. So far, they haven't been able to spot any killers. Right now, there are 3 theories as to what's causing these brutal murders on Werewolf Island. Theory 1. Speculations around the island strongly suggest that the incident is caused by a werewolf or a series of werewolves, known commonly on the island in their local language as a Sigbin, S-I-G-B-I-N. Now, if you're going to enumerate the mythical creatures of the Philippines, you're going to find quite a lot. But among them is a creature that is believed to be a rare kind of animal who dwells in the forests of the south in the Philippines. His body is similar to a goat and a kangaroo with a long tail that uses it as a whip, and his face looks like a bat with long fangs and red eyes. Now, according to some researchers, they have found a creature like the Sigbin, which they say is a carnivore that only hunts animals or human beings and mainly eats its prey's vital organs. Sigbin is believed to be a nocturnal creature, which explains how all of the attacks took place at night. It's known among believers that this creature is a kind of demon and is also known as the pet of Aswang, which leads us to the second suspect in this incident. So theory 2. According to Philippine folklore, an aswang is an evil, shape-shifting creature that shares the grotesque characteristics of werewolves, vampires, and ghouls. It has no consistent image or a description because its appearance varies per region, and people there have often characterized them based on hearsay, which is why the term aswang has commonly been used as a catch-all description for the most evil creatures that lure at the night in the Philippines. What can be agreed on is how they kill. During the daylight hours, aswangs go incognito, taking on a human form, locals say, to blend in with regular townspeople, all the while consciously observing who to target next. That's terrifying. You might be standing next to an aswang. Most have been associated with women. particularly because of their long dark hair which they use to cover their bloodshot eyes. And then when the night creeps in, they shift into their predatory forms, not to be confused with their ghoulish true forms, as a large dog, man-sized bird, or a black Siamese cat, waiting for their human prey to be alone before feasting on their flesh and blood. Yeah, that's terrifying. Look directly into a person's eyes, and if your reflection is upside down, then you've met an Aswang, according to paranormal experts. Now, the quick way to detect one is through a special oil curated by an abellero, a Philippine witch doctor, which boils when an Aswang is lurking nearby. Because Aswangs disguise themselves as humans and animals, no one is really prepared for them. But to avoid becoming prey, there are telltale signs that reveals when these beasts are on the hunt. When you hear a tick-tick-ticking noise from the darkness, that means an Aswang has taken its tick-tick form, signaling that it's ready to eat. The softer the noise, the closer the Aswang is to you. Horrifying, right? I don't want to hear a tick-tick-ticking noise anytime soon. Aswangs usually land on a victim's roof, which is similar to what we've heard of Mothman stories in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. They stretch their long, dripping tongues over the house to get a taste of human prey. In most cases, they pay a visit to every pregnant woman in town, hoping to feed on unborn children. Pregnant women emit a distinct smell that attracts Aswangs, which has historically been used to explain miscarriages or stillbirths in rural parts of the Philippines. Now, after feeding, Aswangs often replace their victims with doppelgangers made from tree trunks or other plant materials. People are then blissfully unaware that these beasts are on a killing spree. Another reason why Filipinos fear Aswangs are because of their ability to pass on their magical powers to someone else. And it's a common belief that an Aswang holds its mouth close to a person's mouth, they too will eventually become one of them. And to protect themselves from Aswangs, some Filipinos keep a buntat paji, which is a stingray's tail, in their house. If you go into a Filipino's house, you might see one of these stingray's tails hanging on a wall. They also use salt, garlic, and ginger, which are said to be effective when it comes to warding off these terrifying creatures. Religious artifacts such as holy water and crucifixes are also placed near windows in the belief that displaying them ensures no evil beings will enter the house. There are also amulets, which have the power to repel Aswangs. And the term Aswang originated from the Filipino word asowang, meaning dog, because the beasts usually take the form of dogs. And while these mythical creatures may make for a terrifying bedtime story, historian and Professor Anthony Lim provides a sociological and scientific explanation behind Aswangs. According to Lim, the Malay people migrated to the Philippines in the 13th century, bringing with them a set of supernatural beliefs. And as the Malaysian people moved there, they spread these beliefs across the islands. Theory number 3. Some suggest that the goat killings, they're not the deed of a mythical creature at all, but rather a satanic ritual. In fact, it's widely known that goats and goat's blood is heavily featured in satanic rituals and dark magic. And as it turns out, the Philippines are the home of what is known as the Philippine witches. Philippine witches are the users of black magic and related practices from the Philippines. The curses and other magics of witches are often blocked, countered, cured, or lifted by Philippine shamans associated with the indigenous Philippine fold religion. Philippine witches practice a kind of black magic, specifically a malevolent use of sympathetic magic, which is associated with indigenous Philippine religions. Witchcraft has been present throughout the Philippines before the Spanish colonization. Now, these witches are also believed to have powers that cause harm to other people covertly. Sorcerers who practice this kind of sorcery usually justify it as a form of criminal punishment, as a widespread belief is that black magic does not work on people who are innocent. So then why would so many farmers be falling victim to this kind of black witchcraft? No one knows for sure, and to this day, no one can say for sure what happened on Werewolf Island, and the killer of these farm animals is still unknown and on the loose. What do you think it is? Drop me a comment below. And if you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, so you'll never miss one of our videos. And share it with someone who might like stories of mysterious mythical creatures. We'll see you next time, everyone.